Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about an extreme storm that's going to be ongoing throughout the day today and throughout the day tomorrow, which could bring severe weather and flooding. Now, before I get into this video, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also like the video and leave a comment down below because those two things help me out so much. Thank you so much for doing that. Let's get into the comment of the day. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, how do you see this upcoming August going as far as the weather patterns? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and first things first, as you can see on our day one categorical outlook here, we're just going to get straight into it. General thunderstorm risk throughout basically most of the United States here. It's one of the larger general thunderstorm risks I've ever seen. You can see it's, I would say, at least 80% of the country here. Very, very large region it's encompassing there. We also have a rather large marginal risk, I would say. Eastern North Carolina up through Virginia, the Delmarva, Maryland, D.C., Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, and then the rest of the upper Midwest states and some of the Great Lakes states there as well. We see Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio there. We also have a slight risk, though, and that's going to be there for Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. And then we have an enhanced risk in there as well for Minnesota and Wisconsin mostly. And then we have a moderate risk there mostly for Wisconsin. So this is obviously one of the higher risks we've seen in quite a while. I'm kind of watching this situation. I might go live later today. It just depends how late this one starts. It appears like it could be pretty late when it starts. So it's going to depend on a lot, but I could be doing a live stream at least briefly. It might not be one of those 8-hour ones or 5-hour ones for you guys. But I might get on for at least an hour or two just to talk and go over some of the storms, maybe give you guys a little bit of an update on what's coming up. And maybe some of it will already be ongoing by that point. So be on the lookout for a possible live stream. Here is our day one wind risk outlook. And as you can see, we have a 5% chance there in the green area within 25 miles of a given location. For the yellow region there, 15% chance. The red region there is a 30% chance, and then the kind of purplish color there is a 45% chance of damaging wind within 25 miles of a given location. So think of your house. If you live in that region, think of your house. There's a 45% chance that damaging wind will occur within 25 miles of your house. So obviously that's not very good odds. That is a very high risk, and we're going to be watching this situation very closely. You might be wondering, what is that hatched area? Well, that just means that there's an even higher chance of even more damaging wind than what is typically considered severe. To be exact, it's actually a 10% chance or more of 65 knot winds or greater within 25 miles of a given location. So that's obviously a more elevated chance there. For instance, the normal severe wind is considered to be 50 knots. So 65 knots is 15 knots above what is typically considered severe. So within that hatched area, we do have a good chance at seeing those very elevated, obviously, wind levels. So that is pretty concerning to say the least. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at the hail outlook and the tornado outlook, and then we're going to get into some modeled guidance. All right, now here we are taking a look at the day one hail outlook, and as you can see, we have a 5% chance of hail within 25 miles of a given location there within the green area. And then within the yellow area, we have a 15% chance of hail within 25 miles of a given location. And then we even have a hatched area there as well. So obviously, we're just taking a look at a very severe day overall. But the hatched area means there's a 10% chance or greater probability of 2-inch diameter hail or larger within 25 miles of a point. So obviously a very interesting setup we have here. And even the tornado risk is pretty high too. I mean, just overall, it's a balanced, very severe day, it looks like. Here's the tornado outlook. 2% chance within 25 miles of a given location there within the green of a tornado occurring. 5% chance there within the brown, and then a 10% chance there within the yellow. 10% for a tornado is actually pretty elevated. You don't usually get like 45 or 30% chances of tornadoes because, you know, that would obviously be devastating because tornadoes are just overall more rare and very much so more impactful than hail or damaging wind is. So usually you're on the much lower percentages. It's considered a much higher threat to life and property, obviously. So let's just get into some model guidance real quick. Here is our this is just our shear, and as you can see, we're gonna have a very elevated amount this afternoon for Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley. This is what's going to cause a lot of that wind-driven risks, and that by that I mean damaging wind and tornadoes. So those both kind of benefit from the shear being a little bit higher. Our cape is going to be out of control. This was last night in the blacks and whites. For instance, the whites we had 4,500 or more, and within the blacks we had 5,000 or more. You need 1,000, by the way, for severe weather, but we had 5,000 plus, so 5 times the amount you need. And by this kind of evening time when the storm should be firing up, we're going to have pockets of those 4,000 plus amounts there in the purples and whites still around. So yes, a very elevated cape day, and I think that's why we have the hatched area for hail, because usually when you have a higher cape situation, you get a lot more of those taller clouds that just are very, very mature, and you get the larger hail in those types of storms there. So that is kind of the type of day we're taking a look at here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at some simulated radar in just a moment to see what these storms could look like at any given point. All right, now here we are taking a look here at our NAM 3KM composite reflectivity. This is what the simulated radar should look like, and this is by about 7 or 8 p.m. tonight already, and as you can see, the storms will just be firing up in northern Wisconsin, so that's why I said I might or might not go live tonight. It just depends on a lot there for northern Wisconsin. They're just going to be firing up, and by the time it's 12 a.m., these storms are going to be moving through into southern Wisconsin. Usually I'm asleep by 10 at the latest, so that's kind of where I'm at, because I wake up at 5 a.m. to make these videos, so my schedule is very unique, and I don't get to stay up too late. So I'm just going to be watching this situation closely and see how early it starts, and that's what's going to determine if I go live or not. So by the time we're reaching the morning hours, this will be about 5 or 6 a.m. You can see these storms will basically be less intense, and they'll be located more in the Ohio Valley in the Great Lakes regions rather than the upper Midwest, where they will be much more severe. So let's just go over those outlooks here for the Northeast real quickly in the Ohio Valley. Our categorical outlook, this has room for improvement, but generally we have a very large general thunderstorm risk again in that lighter green area. We have 2 marginal risks there for one there for Wyoming there in through Nebraska. We have one there for Missouri and then the Ohio Valley and then in through the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic there, as you can see. And then we even have a slight risk area there in Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, and even a bit of Delaware and a bit of New Jersey as well. That might even be touching New York City, basically. I think there is room for an enhanced risk to be included here, but it doesn't look like that's too likely based on the current risk level, in my opinion. Here's the day 2 wind outlook, and as you can see, we have 2 areas of 5% chance within 25 miles of a given location of damaging wind occurring. One there again for Wyoming and Nebraska, and then one there for Missouri, and then the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, and a bit of the Northeast as well. We even have a 15% chance of damaging wind within 25 miles of a given location there for those Mid-Atlantic states, and a little bit of Ohio and West Virginia as well. The hail outlook isn't looking too particularly large here. We see 5% chance there for Wyoming and Nebraska, and then 5% chance there in that much larger green region as well, within 25 miles of a given location. So it doesn't look like it's going to be too big of a hail day. We could see hail, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too big of a hail risk. Now here's the tornado risk, and it's a little bit higher than the hail when compared. The percentage is actually lower, but it just, again, you got to kind of value it a little bit differently. We see 2% chance of tornadoes within 25 miles of a given location there within the very large green region. That's for Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, D.C., Maryland, Delaware. We see New Jersey, Pennsylvania, even a bit of New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and even Massachusetts there. Again, 2% chance within 25 miles of a given location of a tornado occurring. And then we even have a 5% chance there for West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and a bit of Maryland as well. So we're going to be watching all of these things throughout the day today and throughout the day tomorrow. But for today's confidence tab, we're at a 6 out of 6. We're high on the confidence because these 2 things are happening within the next 2 days. So we're obviously very close and we feel very confident. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, do you hope that summer just continues on the way it's been going, or are you pretty much ready for fall to kick in pretty early in September? And Marge Venable, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, said, I'm ready for fall. They're really capitalizing on that ready part. So, Yes, Marge is very, very ready for fall, and that's actually what I got a lot of yesterday, believe it or not. Most people are ready for fall. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, John Benbenick, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Little the Pan, and Donna Carnes, alongside our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Cotalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Cindy Klein, Mark J, Luke Falago, Gary, John Khaleesi, Dwight Phelan, and Stephen Crenenthal. If you'd like to be a part of this Patron end screen of the day, you can do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I would also like to thank our channel members Hair Farms One and Catbite as well. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to destroy the like button and leave a comment down below to help that YouTube algorithm out, which helps me out a lot. And also be sure to subscribe if you like weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.